Okay then, so you can see a protoboard in front of you with a circuit diagram above it. Very simple circuit diagram, but when you come to building your NEA, yours will be a lot more complex. This is a very, very, very basic subsystem. It's just a 2-input AND gate with some switches. How to build it? So there's an easier protoboard video that you can watch, which I can share with you, a YouTube video. So I'm assuming you know the basics of how it works. So 2 switches, so one goes there, another goes there. Remember the switches we use, they connect diagonally. So the resistor can go to the bottom left or the bottom right. I'm randomly going to pick the bottom left. So I'm putting that one in there. Notice the other side of the resistor goes down to the 0-volt rail there. It's a 1K resistor. Just have a look in the tray. When you get your 1K resistors, you should have red and black on them. So 1K resistors. Okay. So they should be as straight as possible. Yeah, so you do get marks for how neat you are, so it's got to be as straight as possible. Diagonally opposite, we're going to put a wire going up to the 5-volt rail. So I'm using green for my power supply. Actually, no, I'm not going to use red, because red's going up to the 5 volts. So let's go from red. So diagonally opposite, yeah, up to there. Okay, that's that one. Again, hopefully the wires, cut the wires to the right size. When you're using the wire strippers, hopefully they should be neat there. So we're diagonally opposite up to there. Just so to show you on the wire strippers. So there's the wire strippers there. If you turn the dial all the way round anti-clockwise, it's the loosest it could be. That bit, you can actually say how much you want to strip off. So it will only strip up to that little bit there. Obviously press, and there you go, you've got it stripped off. Okay. And obviously to cut the wire, you go into there, you can clip it. If the wire is a little bit too long, you can obviously shorten it and clip it again. So almost sort of judge. You could even use these pliers here. So you can even sort of bend the wire, yeah, and sort of see how long the wire would be before putting it on. Okay, so there's that one. We're going to obviously need the AND gate. We'll stick the AND gate in there. Look, there's a little semicircle on the AND gate. It goes to the left. Just about, maybe not quite see it, but there is a little semicircle on the AND gate on the left there. Okay, there is a little semicircle. So semicircle to the left. Therefore, pin 1 will be the bottom left pin. In fact, I'll show you a pinout diagram. So we've got loads of these. The AND gate is over on the right. Notice there's 4 AND gates I could choose. So I'm obviously going to use the first AND gate, pin 1, 2, and 3. I've seen so many students use pin 1 and 2 and then decide to come out of pin 6. Have a look at that. Why would that make any sense? Okay, so it'll be pin 1, 2, and 3. So let's do that wire. So in between the switch and resistor is that there or there. So as long as it's in between the two, you've connected that wire there. So that wire there in between the switch and resistor. So that one there. That's going to go over to pin 1. Yeah. So let's just bend that into pin 1. And as long as it goes under, it is in pin 1. Now, to be honest, if I was doing this for the rear one, I might want to get the maximum marks. That is not maximum marks because look, that's quite long. You see that? So you'd probably want to make that a tiny bit shorter. In fact, if you want, I will show you. Let's just do that. See if I can get it right myself. So take a tiny bit more off, clip it again. Then we're going to do exactly the same thing. Pin 1, tiny little bit shorter. I'm going to bend that leg round. And I'm going into there. There we go. Let's make sure that's it properly. So you can use these wire cutters as well. There we go. So you see now that is in very, very nicely. Yeah. Okay. If anything, it might be a tiny bit too short, but it would still be okay. I'm not going to spend ages cutting all the wires to length, so I'm just going to use this one going into pin 2. Some students, I'm hoping you guys are right for year 13, but hopefully you realise that anywhere under there is pin 2. So you've got 4 connections to pin 2 and you've got 4 connections to pin 1. Pin 1 and pin 2 have been done. The output's going to go to an LED. Again, I don't know if you can quite see that, maybe not. No, it's quite difficult to spot. There is a flat edge on the LED which goes towards 0 volts. The flat edge is on this side here. So there is a flat edge and it goes towards 0. So what I would probably do is generally, so you don't have to do it this way, put the LED across the middle, get your resistor that's going with the LED, usually maybe 220, a 330 or a 470. We've got a load of 470, so you might be better using 470. Going down to your 470 ohm. You can do a calculation in your section 2 on how to calculate that. So an LED requires 2 volts, 20 milliamps. Therefore, there'll be 3 volts left and 20 milliamps. You know how to do Ohm's law. R is V over I. Okay. So then we're going to go from the output pin, which is pin 3, and it's going to go up to the top. So again, we can bend the wire around. I'm just doing this by hand. Again, you probably make it a bit neater by using the correct method. So I'll try and make it a tiny bit neater if I can. Okay, something like that. Okay, yeah, that wire is probably a tiny bit too long. So again, you don't want to get the maximum neatness mark for that wire. You want to make it a tiny bit shorter. Right, is that circuit ready to be tested? No, well done. Of course it's not ready because you haven't got power supply to the chip. Which pins are the voltage supply and the ground. GND, that's logical for ground. VCC is logical for the voltage to power supply. So we're going to use red for the top. Going over there. And we're using green for the 0. So I've just stripped my wires off first. You guys can do that. You can sort of preempt what wires you're going to need, strip them off first. Right, there you go. That circuit is now ready to be tested. One other thing just to point out, remember on these boards, you have to, this half has to be connected to this half. So you need a wire there and a wire there. Always stick with 5 volts at the top, 0 volts at the bottom. It's a lot easier to do that rather than try to mix things up. Okay, thank you very much.